November 24th, 1971. It was the day before Thanksgiving in the United States. Airports were busy, people were traveling home, and nothing seemed unusual when a quiet, well-dressed man walked into Portland International Airport. He bought a one-way ticket to Seattle under the name Dan Cooper. He was in his mid-40s, wearing a black suit, white shirt, thin black tie, and sunglasses. Calm, polite, ordinary. After boarding Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, he took his seat at the back of the plane and ordered a bourbon and soda. A few minutes later, he handed a note to a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner. At first, she thought it was just a phone number, but Cooper leaned toward her and quietly said, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Inside his briefcase, he showed her what appeared to be red cylinders connected by wires. Whether it was real or not, no one wanted to take the risk. He calmly demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle. He specifically asked for parachutes, a detail that confused authorities. Why 4? When the plane landed in Seattle, the passengers were released safely. Authorities handed over the ransom money. Cooper remained calm the entire time. No panic, no aggression. Just quiet confidence. Then he gave the crew new instructions. He ordered the plane to take off again, this time heading toward Mexico City. Only 4 crew members remained on board. It was dark now. Heavy rain covered the sky. The plane flew at 10,000 feet, with the rear stairway accessible, something only the Boeing 727 allowed. Somewhere over the forests of Washington state, Cooper tied the ransom money around his waist, put on a parachute, and lowered the aircraft's rear stairs. At approximately 8:13 p.m., the crew noticed a sudden change in air pressure. And that was it. D.B. Cooper jumped into the freezing night, carrying $200,000 in cash. The plane continued on and later landed safely in Reno, Nevada. But Cooper was gone. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history. They named it NORJAC, Northwest Hijacking. Agents searched forests, rivers, mountains. They interviewed hundreds of people. They examined fingerprints left on the plane. They analyzed the black tie he had removed before the jump. Nothing led to a confirmed identity. Over the years, more than 800 suspects were investigated. None matched perfectly. Many experts believed the jump was nearly impossible to survive. It was November. The weather was brutal. The terrain below was dense forest and icy rivers. Cooper wore business shoes and a thin suit, not survival gear. But then something unexpected happened. In 1980, nearly 9 years later, an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram was playing along the Columbia River when he discovered decaying bundles of cash buried in the sand. The serial numbers matched the ransom money. This was the first real physical evidence, but it only deepened the mystery. If Cooper died during the jump, how did some of the money end up buried miles away? If he survived, why was only a small portion found? Some investigators believe he had military parachute training. Others think he carefully studied the aircraft and planned everything. A few even believe he intentionally chose a dangerous jump location to fake his death. In 2016, after 45 years, the FBI officially closed the case. No arrests, no confirmed identity, no final answer. D.B. Cooper remains the only airplane hijacker in American history who was never caught. To some, he is a criminal. To others, he is a legend, the man who outsmarted the FBI. But the truth is, on a cold November night in 1971, a man stepped into the sky and disappeared. And more than 5 decades later, the world is still asking the same question. Who was D.B. Cooper? And did he survive the fall?
Thank you for watching this video.